So you were a member of the Progressive Artist Group.
Yes.
How much of the influence do you retain now? And how much of the influence of Progressive?
There's no question of influence. We were just friends. And we saw each other's work and admired each other's work.
Did they help you modify your work also?
No, they didn't help me modify. I mean, I suppose they must have. I never thought of a direct modification. I didn't expect, that they would sort of give me sort of instructions to somebody who's an outsider, as it were. There's no question of that.
Just friendly advice.
We were all equals,
So they advised you also?
There's no advice. I mean, we used to sit together and have a drink or tea or whatever, and then chat and look at paintings and talk about paintings. It wasn't a schoolmasterish situation at all.
More equal and friendly.
We were all equals. I mean, it's another matter that Hussain became more famous and the whole India. He made it. He wanted it. He wanted that way. He wanted to be well known. I don't particularly want to be well known.
That's where your greatness
No, I don't know about greatness, but that's just my inclination, that I just want to be alone with my work. I like to talk to people. I have many good friends, but I don't seek publicity, if that's the word.
So, why is the monochrome so dear to you?
Because it's very direct. You don't have the implications of color coming in. When color is involved, you get another kind of involvement you have to deal with. Then color has its own dynamic which has to be dealt with. And it takes away from the immediacy of what you have to say. At least that's true of me. You have one color, whether it's a charcoal or whether it's a color in brown or red or whatever. Color is eliminated. You go straight on to what you have to say in terms of whatever color you have.
Can you please share your biggest achievement till date?
The achievements are always summed up at the end of one's life, and I have no intention of just passing out right now, so I can't tell you. My big achievement may yet to become. I don't know. My job is of a painter, and I give expression to what I have to say, and that's that. Some of it works out very well, other things don't work out so very well. I mean, that's just like living. I mean, you try something and it doesn't work out, then you destroy it.
Okay, so have you ever done that? You've made something and you've destroyed it?
Of course, many times, not once. You try things which you don't know. You are entering into an atmosphere, into a situation which you're not aware of. Okay, and so when you have a shot at it, and the implications of what you were doing is far more than what you were actually gained, whatever you gained for to begin with. And then it's bigger, it doesn't work out, so you don't attempt it. You attempt it another time. You then think of a way that you'll attack it. It preys on your mind and it says that, I could have done this, I could have done that, maybe I tried this, maybe I tried that. And this happens when you're actually dealing with very large projects, as I have. I don't think there are too many artists who attempted large projects. Big drawing which I did, it's a 90-foot long drawing, I don't think anybody's done that, drawing that size. I did for the Chola in Madras, which is now hanging in the corporate office of ITC.
Sir, how much time would a painting like that would take?
The Chola took me, I think all told about 5 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks.
90 feet, no?
Yeah, I mean the first 40 feet I think it was, or something like that, and I did that in a fortnight. You can't say, what the time which you spend also depends on how fast you work and how fast you grab your subject. And how far the subject itself is amenable to being grabbed. That's it. Painting a large painting, you have to have stamina. And it's got to be equal all over. You can't have gaps. This is poor, that is gap. It's all got to be one piece. Like the Moria is, for instance, you can't say that it is
very cohesive.
It's cohesive, yes, and that's the whole thing, that you've got to maintain the cohesiveness of what you're doing. In fact, you don't have to try, you are in it, so you will be cohesive.
That strength, that energy,
you're tuned in,
So when you started doing the Moria paintings, at that time, did you plan that it's going to be that huge, the Moria?
Oh yeah, the structure was there. I had the structure in front of me, so I had to fill the structure up. It's over 5,000 I think it's 5,000 or 4,000. It's something large, 4,000 square feet or 5,000, something like that.
So what is your philosophy behind painting everyday life, you know?
There are different things. You go to, when you finish a painting, you feel pretty dragged out, you know. I mean, it's a lot of energy expended. And then when you go back to your studio again, the first thought is to clean up the damn place. I mean, everything piles up, you know, you see all your paint there and everything. And so all that Jamila has to be cleaned up before you begin anything else.
Whereas the others, they were quietly, you know, doing the abstracts and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, the question, my question to anybody who's doing an abstract is, you know, what is your raison d'etre behind it? What's your philosophy behind it? Or is it just banging on 3 or 4 colors together and hoping that they'll work?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's if a person is just putting 4 colors together, even in a pleasant kind of fashion, it's no better and no worse than somebody who's doing an interior design for some color matching and all, you know, which I think is frivolous in a sense.
I agree.
I don't think that it should be. I don't frown on it, but it's a very minor activity. Painting is not a minor activity. It's a
serious pursuit of.
It is a hell of a pursuit, and the pursuit goes on till the time you're alive.
So what is
that is what keeps all of us alive to what we are. We all ended up, Hussain was 95 when he died. And same thing with Razak, same thing with Gaitonde. I'm 92.
You're young and hot. You're young and hot.
Young because I work.
Yeah. So what is any latest project that you're working on?
Well, I've just finished something, so there are many things I have
Next exhibition, where do we expect?
I don't work for exhibitions. Exhibitions happen when you've got enough stuff and you want to show.
Yeah.
Well, you don't say that now on this day I'll have an exhibition. Just because the gallery is going to be vacant or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not fulfilling the gallery's demands.
Certainly
you know.
not. You're beyond
They
that.
want my paintings.
Yeah.
It's mutual.
Yeah.
I have paintings to show, and have they got the space, and can they come to terms which are important? Because I don't want the gallery to swallow up everything.
But any new painting that you are doing?
No, there's a whole stack of new paintings in my. I mean, these are big themes which keep recurring. For instance, I'll tell you something that never ends: is the Mahabharata.
You're doing that now?
This is it. This is Disha.
Yeah.
But I've done a much bigger thing than this. The big one I've done is about 12 feet by 8 feet. 12 feet high, 8 feet across.
So why have you chosen charcoal now?
Because it's very quick. And it's the manipulations within your grasp when you're dealing with oil or paint and things, and it's a very different approach, you know.
So
It's very fast. I mean, this is the immediacy is there in charcoal. Even in pencil, when you do a pencil drawing, I mean, it has the advantage of being able to put down straight away. And then if it isn't right, you just rub it off, you know.
So you don't have to really destroy, as you're saying that you've destroyed.
Well, I mean, if it goes that far, then there's no point rubbing it out. You try to tear it out. I mean, don't waste your time.
So now you're doing the Mahabharata series.
I don't even think of series. There are certain aspects within the Mahabharata that attract.
Like?
And it's a big compendium of almost every situation in life you can imagine. Betrayals, passion for people, viciousness, gallantry, everything. It's got
So you're
the whole
denoting all those in your paintings now.
Well, I mean, that's what motivates me to do it. Whether it goes in or not, I'm not so sure. But it happens. Some part of it rubs off, I'm sure.
Just like partition. Anything modern, what is happening right now?
Well, everything is related to that too. I mean, the partition created a problem which is politically not solved even yet. I was there, I had any number of Muslim friends who were very, very, very close and very dear to me. Then you suddenly come away and say nothing. And now they say, this lady, the actress recently said that they're not such bad people. They're not such bad people. They're like us.
Yeah.
Because
They-
Parikar.
Yeah,
Minister
but then
said
why do you see? It is the desire to create an enemy.
Yeah.
I don't want to participate in.